Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today we are going to make a video on the vertebrae. So basically we have 33 vertebrae. There are some fused ones in the sacral and the lumbar region, but total there are 33 vertebrae. The classification is based on the region. The formula is 7, 12, 5, 5, 4. 7 in the cervical region, 12 in the thoracic region, 5 in the lumbar, 5 in the sacral, and 4 in the coccygeal. The coccygeal and the sacral are fused together. Therefore, total we get 26 bones, but the vertebrae are 33. Now here in my hand I have 3 types of vertebrae. This is a typical thoracic vertebra. Now this is the first cervical vertebra, which is also known as the atlas, and this is known as the second cervical vertebra, also known as the axis. So we are going to talk on each of them. First, I would like to do the typical vertebra. So the thoracic vertebra, in a typical vertebra, what are the features? So this is the body of the vertebra. This is a spongy bone surrounded by a compact bone, and this actually makes the body of the vertebra. Then this is known as the vertebral arch, and the vertebral arch have some processes. These are the transverse processes, these on the lateral sides, and this is the spinous process, and these are the articulating facets, the superior and the inferior articulating facets. And this is the vertebral canal or the vertebral foramina. This is the vertebral foramina, and when the vertebrae are superimposed on each other and make a vertebral column, it makes a column. Therefore, it is known as a vertebral column. So in a typical vertebra we have a body, a vertebral arch having 2 transverse processes, a spinous process, some articulating facets, superior and inferior, 4 articulating facets, and then we have a vertebral foramina, which makes vertebral canal or known as the spinal canal. Now, how to differentiate these? So in cervical vertebra, there is a famous saying in Gray's that these vertebra have short or small bodies. If we look at this have a very small body as compared to the thoracic vertebra. This one you can appreciate here, both this one is the thoracic one and this one is the C2 cervical vertebra, having a very small body. The second thing is that they have a foramina there in the transverse process, known as the foramen transversarium, which differentiates the cervical vertebra from all other vertebrae. So these two are too important. And then there is another thing: the spinous process of the cervical vertebra are bifid. It is known as the bifid spinous process. Bifid means it has 2 spines. These which can be seen here in this vertebra. So these are 3 things by which we can differentiate cervical vertebra from a typical thoracic vertebra. Then another thing in the thoracic vertebra is that they have some costal facets. These, if you can see in this video, let me focus on it. These are the costal facets, the demi facets for the ribs. Actually, we know that there are ribs in the thoracic region, so therefore Allah the Almighty have made costal facets for the ribs to articulate with them. And similarly, here is a transverse costal facet, which makes a transverse joint, a joint between the transverse process of the thoracic vertebra and the vertebral, the costal, or which we call as a rib, the costal arch, which is known as a rib. Now, the C1 vertebra, which is also known as the atlas, it has no body. This is a classical point about the atlas, that it has no body. So what it got? It has got a posterior arch and an anterior arch. This is known as the anterior arch, and this one is known as the posterior arch. Now, how to differentiate which one is the anterior and which one is the posterior? So there is a small notch, this one, on the anterior arch, on the inside of the anterior arch, and this is known as the notch for the odontoid process or the dens. This process, this one on the C2 vertebra, this is known as the odontoid process of the C2 vertebra or the axis, or this is known as the dens of the second cervical vertebra. So this makes an articulation with this notch or this facet. Therefore, it is known as a facet for the dens of the C2. So it shows us that this is the anterior, and this is the posterior vertebral arch. So then we have similar, which we taught, that there are facets in the vertebra. So these are the inferior articular facets, and these are the superior articular facets. Now the other thing which makes it different from other thoracic vertebra, that this is the first vertebra of the vertebral column. So it makes joint with the skull. And which part of the skull? So it makes joint with the occipital condyles of the skull. So this joint, this is known as the atlanto-occipital joint, because this is the atlas and above we have the occipital condyle. So this joint is known as the atlanto-occipital joint, and this joint makes the head nods for yes. If we move like this, so we can say that it can do slight flexion and slight extension. So nodding for yes by the head actually is done through this joint, this atlanto-occipital joint. Then the other thing, this one, this is known as the transverse processes, and the transverse processes have a foramina which is known as the foramen transversarium. What is this for? This is for the vertebral arteries and veins. Actually, the vertebral artery is a branch of the subclavian artery, and it actually ascends through these foramina and then enters to the skull through the foramen magnum, and it makes one of the part of the supply of the brain, known as the vertebro-basilar system. So these vertebral arteries are responsible for that. Therefore Allah have made a proper passage for the protection of those vertebral arteries, and they actually descend. Now these transverse foramina are present in all the cervical vertebrae, C1 to C7, C1 से लेकर C7 तक, मतलब from C1 to C7, not C1, C2, C1, C2, C3, C4, C5, C6 and C7. Now I don't have a C7 vertebra, but if we look at a just imagine I have a C7 vertebra and this one is a typical thoracic vertebra. The only difference between this and that will be that it would have costal facets. The last cervical vertebra is just like the first thoracic vertebra, so you actually cannot differentiate between both of them. The thing and the other thing is that the C7 vertebra, just like all its other brothers, do not have the bifid spinous process, just like this one in the C2. It do not have this thing, so it makes it even harder to differentiate the C7 from the thoracic vertebra. Therefore we have to look to the costal facets for differentiation between the C7 and the T1 vertebra. The C7 won't have these, but the T1 vertebra will have this structure, so we can differentiate. Now this one, this is the C2, also known as the axis. This thing makes it very prominent to differentiate it from all other vertebrae. This is known as the odontide process, or the dens of the second cervical vertebra, and it has got a name, and the name of this vertebra is axis. Then this has a small body, and similarly the inferior articular facets, the superior articular facets. Now the thing is that this makes actually three joints with the axis. If we look at this, so this is the anterior view, this one is the anterior view, and this one is the posterior view. So it makes three joints. One is this between the dens and the odontide notch, or the odontide facet on the atlas. So this joint is known as the atlanto-axial joint, and this joint is actually a pivot type of synovial joint, and it makes the head nod for no. When for no. When we make our head laterally rotate, when we say no, so this is the joint responsible for that no movement. The yes movement was done by the atlanto-occipital joint, and the no movement is done by the atlanto-axial joint. Now there are two small joints between the inferior articular facets of the atlas and the superior articular facets of the axis. So it makes three joints between both of them. And then there are no other things. The one thing which I forgot, the area by which the central body or the body of the vertebra is connected with the vertebral arch, this is known as the pedicle of the vertebra. This area by which the vertebral arch is joined with the vertebral artery, this is known as the pedicle, yes. And this by which the transverse process is attached with the spinous process, this is known as the lamina. And actually surgeons can remove these things because the spinal nerves get compressed here, and they can decompress the spinal nerves by removing this, and the procedure is known as laminectomy. So this was all about the vertebra. Then the body of among all the vertebra is largest of the lumbar vertebra, and the most prominent body or the most biggest body would be of the L5 vertebra, because it bears all the weight of the body. All the weight is transferred from the head to the vertebral column, and then through the vertebral column to the femur, and then through the femur to the tibia, and then to the tibia to the ankle, and then to the foot. So this is actually the weight bearing axial, the part of the axial skeleton. Then there is nothing in this